As the air is flowing in and out of my body, I allow my body to be calm, to become peaceful. And I allow the energy of attention, the energy of awareness to flow from my head down into my body. The energy of mindfulness flows through our head, down through the neck, the shoulders, arms, all the way to the tips of my fingers. And then down into my trunk, filling the whole trunk. Into the lower part of my trunk. Down into my legs, feet, all the way down to the tip of my toes. As the in-breath is happening, I bring my mind home to my body. As the out-breath is happening, I smile. Dwelling in the here now. Dwelling in this present moment. I experience it as a wonderful moment. Dear Thai, dear beloved Sangha, today is Friday. Thank you. Thursday. Thank you. Today is Thursday, the 9th of June, and we are in our 21-day retreat in the new Hamlet. Today is the 9th day of our retreat. I have arrived, I am home. It's a practice I enjoy a lot. To come back to the present moment, to be here. To see my sister coming. I have competition. They cannot see me, so. Thank you. To bring our mind home to our body and to arrive in the here and the now. It is one of the main 3 Dharma seals of the practice of Plum Village. It is a characteristic of the practice of Plum Village. We already have heard mentioned a number of Dharma doors that are very particular to Plum Village. It identifies the practice as a Plum Village practice. So I have arrived, I'm home, is one of 3 seals of Plum Village practice. When we walk, with every step we take, we arrive in that step. We arrive in the here and we arrive in the now. And it is wonderful to see everybody walking. Also, on days like this where we're all together, and I look around and I think everybody walks so mindfully. I can see the way they put their foot down, the way they walk, and the smile on their faces. Thai tells us that when Thai was put into exile, Thai had no more home to return to, no place to call home he could return to. And it was quite difficult in the beginning. And Thai practiced coming back to the present moment again and again, to be able to be in touch with the wonders of life, the flowers, the trees, the nature around, the children, the smile on people's faces, the friends, again and again. It was suffering not to be able to go back. But Thai practiced. And with that practice of coming back again and again to the present moment, Thai arrived. And Thai found his home. Thai tells us, Thai found Thai's true home. And realized his true home is dwelling in the present moment. It is the essence of Thai's practice and of our practice, Thai's teaching. Most of us have a home to return to, but have we found our true home? Are we arriving in our steps? And are we able to nourish ourselves with the beauty we find in the present moment? Thai has offered us many Dharma doors to practice. I have arrived, I am home. We would like to arrive, we would like to be home, we would like to dwell in the present moment, but maybe our suffering is not quite, we are not quite in touch with our suffering to really motivate us, push us. Yes, this is what I will practice. Yeah. Thai made very good use of Thai's suffering. And it turned into a beautiful lotus that we all enjoy as we are here. One of Plum Village Dharma doors is listening to the bell. When we hear the sound of the bell, we stop being carried away into the past or the future. In fact, we stop being a prisoner of the past or the future. And we come back to the present moment. And for me, it's like allowing myself to sink into the present moment. You know, have you ever experienced that sinking feeling? Yeah. When we've been out doing something physically, or whether it's a long hike or carrying shopping or working in the garden, and then we go inside and we go in, we sit down in a chair and go, ah. And it's really this, ah. And we sink into the present moment, sink onto our chair, physically and mentally. So when I practice sitting meditation, I like to bring my mind home to our body, and I think of my mind as a cloud. Whatever's on my mind, that's the shape of the cloud. We have an expression in English that says absent-minded. Body is here, the mind is absent. We have a lot of wisdom already. We're absent-minded. Yeah. And then we bring our mind home to our body. So I like to, and we fill our whole body with the energy of mind. And we become full-minded. Sounds funny, so we say mindful. Sounds better. Yeah. So I like to think of my mind then as a cloud. And whatever is on my mind, that's the shape of the cloud. And then I bring my mind back to my body, and my mind becomes exactly the shape of my body. It fills every nook and crook of my body. And then I'm mindful, full of mind, mindful. And being mindful, we become aware of what is happening inside of us and around us. Just on a side note, I think this is the first time I give a talk sitting on a chair. So I have to change the choreography. So in 1993, Thai offered us the song, I Have Arrived, I Am Home. And Thai said Thai had been practicing with that already a long time. And now he offered it to us. And with a lay friend called Carol Melkonian, we tried to make a tune, find a tune for it. We found some tune, but it was not very light. And then we were in Spirit Rock, and we met Betsy Rose. We said, Betsy, can you make a tune? And Betsy immediately had a tune. Right? Tune of a French Christmas song. Mm-hmm. So, fits, we live in France. So I have arrived, I'm home. And it really and immediately spoke to me. Yes, arrived, I'm home. To arrive in every step, to arrive in every breath, to arrive with every bite, with every word, to be present. So Thai shares with us, it's the essence or the embodiment of Thai's practice. And it expresses very well Thai's understanding of the teaching of the Buddha. Let us enjoy a sound of the bell and allow our mind to take the very shape of our body. Allow our body to be filled with mind. so that we can experience for ourselves to arrive fully in this present moment. And to experience our body as a breathing organism from the inside. Our body breathes through every pore of our skin. And it actually gently expands and then gently relaxes. So when we allow the center of our gravity to fall down into our abdomen and allow our body to be filled with mindfulness, we can enjoy this wonderful body as an organism that's breathing in its totality through every pore of our skin. So when we come back and home to the present moment, we notice what is happening in the present moment. And as we went back to our body, as we filled our body with mindfulness, we may have noticed what was happening in our body. Something we didn't notice before. Maybe a tension somewhere. And maybe a particular feeling in any part of our body. We may also have noticed what was happening around us. Sounds we didn't hear. Maybe we became more aware of the people around us. When we come back to the present moment, we can respond appropriately to what is happening, to what we find in the present moment, be it inside of us or outside of us. When we encounter tension, on an out-breath, we can soften that tension. When we come back to the present moment and we notice what is happening around us, like a sound. We can respond appropriately. We laugh. So, with mindfulness present, we know also when suffering is present, or when well-being is present. And when well-being is present, we say, I can enjoy my well-being. Well-being may actually be more present than we notice. But when we come back to the present moment and we become aware of our well-being, we can enjoy it. And this enjoyment increases our well-being and allows the well-being to stay a little bit longer. We nourish our well-being just by becoming aware of our well-being. When suffering is present, we become aware of suffering. And we hold it like a mother holds a baby. We don't need to do anything else yet. We hold it, and by holding it, it already calms. I think all of us may have experienced a time when we were meeting suffering, and then somebody comes to us and just sits next to us or stands next to us, and it already calms the suffering. Now there are two of us holding the suffering. We're no longer alone with it, although the other person may not yet know what the suffering is. We're no longer alone. And then when it's calm, maybe our friend will say, "What's happening for you?" And then we can share what is happening. And the listening ear is sometimes already enough. We already heard experiences of this during the past 9 days. Being truly present for someone, having someone next to us who is truly present for us, and just listens, is already healing. The suffering in us feels seen, heard, accepted, embraced. So many things I want to share. I had to write down what to share. Otherwise, we'll be here this afternoon still. We already know this. This represents our consciousness and its functions, if you like. So one function is to store all our potentials, all our memories, all our experience in the form of a seed. We heard that if we see something beautiful, for instance, that's a tree. If we see something beautiful, it comes in through our sense organ, the eye. We have sight, this eye consciousness, and then it falls into store. It waters a seed into store. A store is what we call undetermined. It's neutral. Store doesn't say I don't want this seed watered, and I don't want to that seed watered. No, store just receives. Whatever comes in, store receives and keeps. And store stores all seeds. Store doesn't say, "What are you doing here? I don't want you. Get out." No. Whatever seed is there, store keeps it. It doesn't like or dislike. It doesn't discriminate. It accepts everything. So something comes in, waters the seed. Happy. And when the seed is watered, seed of joy, here it manifests and we become joyful. You could say it's a state of mind. Mind consciousness means when mental formations manifest when we have a particular state of mind, as mind consciousness. And story here just makes manifest whatever is watered enough. It's like, it just pops it up. Okay, you're ready. There you go. You have had water enough and it starts to sprout and the seed becomes a plant. Store doesn't decide. Whatever is watered enough comes up. It's new. When we practice, I have arrived, I am home, dwelling in the here and now, while we walk, when we listen to the bell, when we eat, when we do the dishes, when we drive the car. We are watering and strengthening the seed of mindfulness. And when it's strong enough, it will come up. It will be present as a mental state, if you like, as a mental formation. And being mindful, mindfulness will know what is happening and will recognize, aha, joy is present. Store is often compared to a garden that has all the seeds. And mind consciousness is the gardener, the one who waters the seeds, who takes care of the seeds. And the seeds that are being watered are the seeds that will sprout and become flowers. Now, here we were in contact with a tree, and that watered our seed of well-being. Sometimes we are in contact with something else. Maybe we're watching the news, or we're reading or watching something on internet, and then the seed of anger or despair may be watered. Mm-hmm. Something like that. Yeah? It's going. Oops. Maybe like this. Mindfulness feels, mind consciousness has a sense of responsibility. And then when seeds come up, a seed like this, mind consciousness says, oh, mindfulness, come on up. I need your help. Please help. Mindfulness comes up, oops, and embraces our anger, our fear, our despair. Like I just said, like a mother holds a crying baby. When mindfulness is present, when we practice walking, meditation, sitting or eating, we know what is happening inside and around us. And when we really practice coming back to the present moment again and again, mindfulness will be present all the time. All the time. And mindfulness being here, mindfulness knows what is happening. Mindfulness knows what is coming in from outside, and mindfulness knows what is coming up from store. And with mindfulness, mind consciousness can choose. Can choose, for instance, what to let in. We can choose what to let in through our senses. What do we watch? What do we watch? What do we watch? What do we listen to? These two sense doors, eye and the ear, are the ones that are most receive the most information throughout the day. What do we watch? What do we listen to? What is watered in us? And we can choose. And that is what Thai did when Thai was in exile, to choose what to let in. To look at the beauty of nature, the children, the people around. And like that, Thai created a good, strong seed of well-being. And it looks like Thai is going to water our seeds of joy in a moment.
Free.
We speak a lot about transforming suffering. And we speak of transformation at the base. And Thai often reminds us it's not transformation of the base. The seeds in store are okay as they are. Everything is fine. So my question was always, so what do we transform? Why is it at the base? And I was just about to share this with you when Thai came in. In 1998, Thai asked me to serve the Sangha as abbess of Lower Hamlet. I said, yes, Thai, I'll do my best. It's okay. And as I was in the Lower Hamlet, I started to notice after a few years that I had noticed I cannot step fully into that position. There's something that's keeping me back, and I don't know exactly what it is. And as I sort of allowed that question to go to Alaya and let it mature there, I remembered an incident that had happened before I came to Plum Village, but in my adult life, and that had left maybe a scar in me, I would call it. And I thought, that's what is preventing me from fully stepping into this position. It's actually coloring my thinking, my speaking, and my acting when I look at it. So I decided I was going to ask Thai for advice. Now this was in 2005, so we're already 6 years later, right? 98, 2005. And we were preparing, and Thai was preparing to go to Vietnam for the first time. So I thought, well, if I want to ask Thai, I have to be very concise, concrete, and short, because I don't want to take up too much of Thai's time. So every time I sat in my sitting meditation, while waiting for the Dharma talk to start, a formal lunch, those of us who ordained quite early, we have I have about 20 minutes, we have about 20 minutes before everybody's in the hall. You know? I mean, wonderful. So that was my time for contemplation. Before a meeting, sometimes we wait also for a while. Wherever there was a moment where no particular activity was happening, but we were all sitting, I would use that time to prepare myself to go and share with Thai. And this is what I did. I visualized Thai in Thai's room in the Lower Hamlet. So I go to the room, I knock 3 times, I wait for Thai to answer, I go in, bow to Thai, and Thai motions me to sit down, I sit down, join my palms, and I ask Thai, Thai, may I ask you a question? And Thai nods. Okay. So Thai is sitting there, and Thai is tea. And Thai faces the window. And I sit to the side and half face Thai. You know? And I start to tell my story, my experience. And Thai just looks out of the window. And I start, and this was the occasion, these were the people, this is what this person said, that is what that person said, this is what I said, this is what he did, what she did, what I did. Okay, bell. Sitting meditation over, or the Dharma talk begins, or formal lunch begins. Okay. Next time, I sit and I start all over again. Same scenario. I'm preparing myself, so I prepare from when I knock on the door. How do I go in? And Tai listens. Like with question and answers, you have seen that. Tai sits and Tai listens. Doesn't necessarily look the whole time at the person, but Tai looks and is truly present. Yeah? From time to time, maybe turn, but just there with nothing else but presence. So this went on maybe for 1 or 2 months, because as I was knocking on Thai's door and sitting next to Thai and going through the story, I would say, that person, it's not important for Thai to know that that person was there. Not important. And then that person, not either. And then, that this was said, no, it's actually not important either. So every time I sat down, things fell away. That's not important. I don't need to tell that. That's extra information. It's not necessary. Let's get to the point. Not that. Just drop everything. Yeah. And Thai was, every time I came in my meditation, my sitting, Thai was always sitting there, just present. And just listening. Accepting everything I said. No reaction. Just, it's allowed to be there. It's allowed to be said. It's allowed to be heard. It's allowed to be. More and more things fell away. And then one day, all the people had disappeared already from the picture. It was just myself. And I was saying, and then I said this, and then I said that. And then I thought, drop it, drop it. And then, all of a sudden, I saw it. It was like there is an empty space, and I saw the seed in me that was at the root of this event. My part of it. This is how I had contributed to that event. That seed had manifested. And the minute I saw this seed, I thought, wow. No opposites, no good nor bad, no discrimination. It's just that seed. And everything just fell away. There was space, and there was this immense space and freedom and peace. And I thought, I don't need to go and see Thai anymore. It's gone. And I thought, but in fact, I have been seeing Thai for many months and many, many hours. Because every time I sat down and went into Thai's room, I brought myself into Thai's energy of compassion. I brought Thai's energy of compassion. I awakened it in me. I didn't have that compassion, but Thai's presence awakened this compassion in me. Everything is allowed to be there. As it is. This total acceptance. As it is. No right, no wrong. No good, no bad. Just that. Just that. And from then on, I could just step into being an abbess fully. And this experience, my actions of body, speech and mind were no longer colored by the scar of this experience. And it was very interesting because in store is the memory of this incident, right? The seed in me is there, didn't change. nothing had changed as far as store was concerned. And everything was different. Everything was different. No longer colored, although nothing had changed. What had changed in me was being able also to fully embrace and fully accept, total acceptance of the seed as it was there. Maybe we can have a bell? I had seen very clearly. I had insight. That's what I didn't have before. And this insight was healing. Insight that doesn't discriminate. Just insight into how things are. What also was the insight that what had I been in contact with? What had I allowed that seed to be touched, to be watered? And then I knew what to do and not to do. So the transformation takes place in what to do or not to do. Our habit energies. So what I was practicing is also part of the 8th mindfulness training of the Order of Interbeing. It is mentioned in True Community and Communication, where it says, we will not behave as a victim, but active in finding ways to reconcile and resolve all conflicts, however small. When we reworded or updated the mindfulness trainings, and part of this, Sister Kyra Jewel worked on that, and I attended her, assisted her a bit. And Tai had said, Tai wants this to be in this training, not to be a victim. And we tried sort of to negotiate if we could leave it out. Tai said, no, I want that to be in there. And we really looked and say, how can we put it in there? How can we put, aren't we victims? And then we came by, if we look at how we have contributed to a situation, we are empowered. We step into our strength, and then we can do something. And this is with suffering that comes about as we are maybe more adult life. Tai mentions this here in the light of community and communication, in our interactions with others, when we have conflict and difficulties, and not always to say it is the other, I'm the victim. But we say it takes two to tango, right? So as we tango as an adult, let me say, what do we do? What is our contribution? Maybe it's in the form of a seed that manifests itself in our thinking, speaking, and acting. We're not aware of it. How have we contributed? And then we can act. And this is also something that I have practiced with Sangha, in Sangha life. I like to live in harmony, but sometimes it's not so harmonious. And then at a certain point I take time to look and say, okay, I cannot just say it is the other sister. How do I contribute to the situation? How have I contributed to the situation coming to the point it is now? Yeah. And I found, okay, right. Now I know what to do and not to do. And I no longer felt a victim of the situation or of the other. Nowadays, there's a lot of psychological suffering, maybe much more than in the time of the Buddha. Mother Teresa, who lived and worked in Calcutta to help relieve the suffering in Calcutta, to feed the poor, to care for the poor, to care for their health. At a certain point, some of the sisters, I think Sisters of Charity, they were going to go and live in New York. And Mother Teresa told them, that is an entirely different suffering, because it's psychological and mental. And with our practice, we can heal a lot of our suffering. But at times, we need another person who can help us. And nowadays, we have psychotherapists and many different kinds of psychotherapists. And we go hand in hand. There are many helping professionals in our Sangha. They have the practice and they have the skills of how to guide somebody according to their pace, so they don't go too fast or don't hold back too long, but encourage. In a safe environment where there's listening, compassionate listening, without judging, and everything is allowed to be. There were times when some of us wondered, and we went to Thai saying, Thai, can we have a soup kitchen? Can we, as monastics, can we go to prisons? We want to be out there. And Thai said, our engagement is to offer a place of practice where people come to practice. And that, for me, brought up in me an image that helped me to understand. I'm tempted to ask if there's an artist in the hall. Mm-hmm. Okay. And which one? One, two, three, four. One more, eh? Actually, it's a hand like this, but it doesn't look like it. It looks like it's like this, but I meant it to be the other way around. This is Practice Center. We are here. We're in the palm of our hands. We create a space of practice, where we can practice coming back to the present moment. Arriving, I'm home. Knowing what is happening inside of us and around us. Nourishing ourselves, our well-being, and taking care of our suffering. There are many people out there who are suffering. Yeah. The fingers are all the ones who go out into the world. All of you who are not currently living in Plum Village or another Plum Village practice center. You are our fingers. You are the fingers of our hand. You go out into the world and offer the practice to those who cannot come to Plum Village. You go out into the world and offer your practice of deep listening, your practice of understanding, your practice of compassion, where it is needed. And then you come back and nourish yourself. Here. What if we all go out? Then where do we go? I mean, you understand what I mean? Where's the place? You go out and come back. Yeah? We are a hand, the hand of Avalokita. Yeah? And we're all part of the hand of Avalokita. And we need to keep the palm. Yeah? And we need to keep the fingers. We are a fourfold Sangha. A beautiful fourfold Sangha. Helping to relieve the suffering in ourselves, in the world. Maybe we can have a bell to enjoy a moment of coming back, bringing our mind back to our body, enjoying in-breath and out-breath, and allowing peace to just descend on us. Allow peace to be spread, to move to every corner of our body. So store is neutral. It receives everything. But mind consciousness, with mindfulness, can choose what it wants store to receive. What it wants store to receive. So with mindfulness, we are aware what we are in contact with and what seed is watered. If we have watched something on the internet and we take a moment to check in with ourselves, which we can do as we practice sitting meditation, but not only then, we can do it any time of the day, to check in and say, okay, so what is present in me? What has been watered? Do I want to continue to water it? Yeah. Or do I want to change the peg? Do I want now to be in contact with something that waters my well-being, my peace, my joy? That's what mind consciousness does. The 5 senses let in everything. Yeah. Store receives everything. Mind consciousness can say, just a moment, maybe a little bit less of that and a little bit more than this. This here is 1 to 5 consciousnesses. The 5 sense consciousnesses: sight, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, thinking. But thinking is a separate one. And 6 is mind consciousness. So this is sense consciousness, mind consciousness. And 8 is store consciousness. There's one missing, right? 7. 7 we call manas. Manas. Manas is our sense of I. And it stems from some seeds in store. And these seeds are the seeds of a sense of I, a self-view, self-love, self-confusion, self-ignorance. And manas chooses and picks, because manas discriminates, chooses and picks a few seeds in store and says, that is me, that is I, constructs his I. Store is not something like an empty space with a few seeds in it. Store means the function of storing and everything that is stored. So imagine this to be all the seeds that are being stored. It would take some time to fill this whole thing up with little circles. But all the seeds. So manas turns to store and says, okay, not to make it clear, I'm going to different. Manas says to store, am I joyful? Please, yes, I am a joyful person. I take you. Am I helpful? Yes, definitely. That's also me. Okay. Do we have equanimity? Oh, of course. Anger? No. That's, maybe my father or mother, but it's definitely not. Doubt. What do you think about doubt? What do you think? Maybe not, huh? Could be. Possibly. Not quite sure. So Manas picks these seeds and says, that's I. It's Manas. Sometimes we give it its own space. Manas. So Manas discriminates. This one yes, that one no. I am me, I am not you. Let's just be clear about this, huh? No. Just in case. Manas is the one who asks, who am I? Wait. Who am I? And Namas constructs an I. So you have to be a bit bigger. This works in English very beautifully. Constructs an I identity. We heard already something about I identity when you heard about that in the monastic tradition we practice the fine manners and sort of we do, we wear a headscarf in a certain way and we wear certain robes in a certain way and then we rebel because we have our identity. So, not like everybody else. We do something different. Identity. But it's also isolation. Isolation. We are separate from everything else. I am not you. I am not you. So what to do? Because it causes a bit of a suffering. It's nice to be an I until suffering hits us. We have a wonderful practice that Thai offered us, and it's the practice of the touching the earth. I hope all of you have had or will have an opportunity to practice touching the earth guided by Sister Chung Ham. Because when we touch the earth, we bow down. And it is humbleness. Something in us, although I is very proud, says, okay, maybe I'm not as grand as I thought. So let me humble myself. I bow down. And I bow down with all my strengths, my weaknesses. I bow down. I put my head on the floor and I open my hands. And with opening our hands, we let go of the idea we have of ourselves as a separate entity. We let go a little bit of that identity. And when we can let go of an identity, and then we can look and to say, okay, well, who am I? And then all of a sudden we find, oh well, maybe we reclude anger anyway. I thought it was, one of my parents, but come to look deeply, I see if that's my father, then it's definitely my father in me. But I recognize there. And as we practice more and more and we look more and more deeply, we start to embrace more and more seeds. Not just, things like anger, but, I am generous. I never knew, but actually I am. We open up more and more. We come in touch, if you like, with our greatness. Thai tells us when we bow down, because there's humbleness, but also greatness. And when Manas has embraced all the seeds, we haven't lost our eye. We are a greater, more inclusive person. The second Dharma seal of Plum Village practice is flowing as a river. And we also identify ourselves by the views we have. This is what I think. This is my opinion. And in the 14 mindfulness trainings, we speak of openness, non-attachments to views, and freedom of thought. In those three, we encounter manas. So by practicing the first three of the 14 mindfulness trainings, slowly, we're opening our mind, our hand, we are embracing more and more. So, flowing as a river, we have the opportunity to do this as a Sangha, especially in meetings. How to be in meetings so we have a harmonious meeting. How to flow as a river. How not to be a drop of water. Also, as we work, do we work alone? Do we work with others together? Do we insist on doing something alone? This is my job. We take pride in it. Can we share with others? Can we see how others support us in doing this? And what is the river like? Sometimes say, I don't like this river. It's going too fast, it's going too slow, It doesn't look the way I want it to look. This is the Sangha. And Thai teaches us, be the Sangha member you want the Sangha to be. So be the Sangha you want the Sangha to be. Don't complain, Don't be the victim. Terrible Sangha, look what they're doing. And this is not only the residential Sangha. For those of you who have a local Sangha, you may be also familiar with this aspect of our practice. Be the Sangha member, the kind of Sangha member, of the kind of Sangha you want to be, like the kind of Sangha you want to have. Here again, empowerment. Don't get stuck in the victim role. Empower yourself. Empower yourself. I promised I would finish early. And I've almost finished, so that's good. So the identity and the isolation. It may have happened in your life that you had a situation, you found yourself in a situation, this can happen where we feel utterly alone. Utterly alone. It's a time, according to our tradition, we may fall onto our knees and join our palms and say help. It's when we cry out for help in one way or another. I have seen this happening in a Christian tradition. I've seen it happen in a Buddhist tradition, often for Avalokita, help. Help, we ask for help. At that time, when we have that feeling utterly alone, we are not in contact with who we really are. And again, when we practice the earth and we touch the earth, we find our parents in us, our grandparents. We find if we are here, we find all our ancestors in us. And our descendants are there also, because we will transmit ourselves to descendants, blood or spiritual. So when we touch the earth, we touch our ancestors. Not only do we touch our ancestors, but also all those who are here with us now. They have watered seeds in us, so they are in us. Through their actions of thinking, their thoughts, speech, or body. I think we all know if we are with someone regularly, we take on their habits a little bit. Well, it means they are in us. Otherwise, we could not take on their habits. Yeah? So we have all the strengths of our ancestors in us, also their weaknesses, and we have everything that's been watered, the strengths and weaknesses of those who are here with us in us too. This is very interesting. So, all the ones above us are in us, and this means also the one who come after us, and also the ones who are next to us. So what we give, what we pass on to the next generation is all our ancestors and all those who have watered seeds in us. This means that our previous generation handed down to us what they had received from previous generations, and what they and previous generations had received from all those who were there with them at that time. Isn't this incredible? It's just incredible. Not only is my grandfather in me, but everybody who has watered seeds in my grandfather is also in me. I mean, it's amazing. And. You see what I mean? When we practice touching the earth and we reconnect again, when we see all our non-self elements, we can take refuge in our non-self elements. And then we find our strengths. We are no longer isolated, but we are in touch with our interbeing nature. Through the practice, I put here practice, we move from the identity, I, to our interbeing nature. So, who am I? We I hear it over there. We inter-are. So the answer to the question, who am I, is we inter-are. The self is made of the non-self elements. This is then the self. And this is non-self elements. And that's the greatness. That is when Manas turns and finds its greatness. We are still there. We haven't disappeared. From the I, we have become non-self. A self made of non-self elements. Very often, our non-self elements are not just people, they're also the trees, the air, the sun, the rain. We take care of ourselves. Are we taking care of our non-self elements? We are the tree. Are we aware how the tree feels when it gets felled, when it gets cut down? Do we feel the pain? Do we feel the pain of the river when it's polluted? It's our body outside of our body. And we want to take care of our body. When our whole body, our great, great, great body, all the elements is happy and healthy, then we're truly happy and healthy. Sometimes people say, Thai walks, Thais talk. Thai walks his talk. We are Thai's continuation. And as I said at the beginning, it is so wonderful to see everybody practicing walking meditation. And that is our way ahead. As a fourfold Sangha, worldwide, practicing. In the charter of the Interbeing, of the order of Interbeing, it says, anyone who has read the mindfulness trainings and wishes to live by them is an extended member of the family. So, to be a member of the order of Interbeing, you don't necessarily need a brown jacket. You need to have a bodhicitta, the mind of love. Yeah? So, as a fourfold Sangha worldwide, we are Thai's continuation. And maybe we can walk Thai's walk, arriving in every step, coming home in every step. Because that's the essence of Thai's teachings and practice. I'm sure as we continue to walk Thai's walk, then by and more, as a worldwide Sangha, we will walk Thai's talk. Yeah?